Hi, welcome back to the garden. Today is Sunday, September 4th. This is the 5th day of September seeds. I know, I started a day early. For those of you that are planting along with me, today we're going to plant lettuce and arugula. I kind of jumped the gun on the arugula and it's up already. But the lettuce that I planted at the same time, that was eaten by the blister beetles, so we're going to replant that. And then we'll be caught up. We'll take a look at what we've already got in the ground and see if any of that is sprouted yet. With lettuce, it needs the sun to germinate, so this mulch isn't very thick right here. Obviously, we have a potato coming up from one of the little potatoes I missed while we were harvesting. I'm going to use a little salad bowl mix. These are light greens. They come up pretty fast, and you can eat them at any stage. And the pitchfork makes a couple nice little furrows. I'm not going to plant these real thick. Thing with lettuce, if you succession plant lettuce all year long, you're always going to have some. We intend to have the lettuce in the cold frame. We'll go over that when we get there. So that's just about right. Just want good soil contact. So just kind of flatten those rows out. And since we're not going to cover this back with mulch, this is one we're going to have to really keep an eye on to make sure it stays moist. But those should come up in just a couple of days. The same thing with your arugula. You just want good soil contact. Make sure they stay moist. Some leaves have kind of blown in around it. As they get bigger, we will mulch back around these. This is day 5 since I started planting the September seeds. Now's the fun part. We get to go around and look at each one and see if anything's sprouted. So the first thing we planted was radishes, and on closer inspection we have radishes sprouting. Just about 5 days. These are the first couple baby carrots that the blister beetles left. See if anything sprouted under here. And we've got a bunch of germination going on right here, and that's 4 days underneath the cardboard. I'm going to go ahead and leave the cardboard off. It's not going to get blistering hot today. It's only going to be in the low 80s. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this has plenty of water on it. And it's still pretty moist in here, but I want to make sure it doesn't dry out today. So I'm just adding a little bit more water. I'm going to be very surprised if the spinach or the beets are up today. Well, let's take a look. I don't see anything yet. We're going to make sure this stays good and damp also. Let's take a look at the beets. Now, these got a little more mulch on them. You see how nice that holds that moisture? Let's just top these off just to make sure. From all the nice emails I've received, I know there's quite a few of you that are planting along with me. So we've got radishes, carrots, spinach, and beets in the ground already. Today we just planted lettuce and arugula, but if we planted one seed a day, that's going to shorten our growing season. So tomorrow we're going to plant kale, Swiss chard, cilantro, peas, and turnips. I could not find any seeds for collard greens or mustard greens. I'm going to keep looking, but those are optional, and those should probably go in tomorrow also to get enough growth. As soon as we leave the garden here, we got to do some more uppotting of our brassicas that we started earlier. Those are going to go in the cold frame. There's some other options that are going to go in the cold frame also. I'm obviously going to plant more beets and lettuce in the cold frame along with the brassicas. But that'll be down the line. You can still plant cabbage, just get them in the seed trays, get them started. With just a little plastic wrap over the top, if you got a grow light, they'll germinate very quickly. We're still going to plant garlic and blueberries this month, but I'm going to wait towards the end of the month. But the fun part, we get these seeds in, then we can check them every day and see the progress. Along with those nice emails, I got a message from a new friend from Borneo. Shout out to Borneo. Thank you for watching. I definitely need to make this trellis taller for next year. This is a great example of pre-planting. While we're waiting for these green tomatoes to ripen, we've got our fall garden in and they're coming up. We're just planting September, so we succession planting ahead, knowing that as things ripen and get ready, we got more coming up behind them. Our next thing will be the cold frames. You can do this too, and I hope you join us for those episodes. You never give up. We made it through the hot weather, and now they're just loaded. But while we're waiting on these, let's look ahead. let's get those brassicas up potted. We want to have them ready to go in the cold frame here in just a little bit. Since we went ahead and up potted the plants that were getting big enough, they've done very nicely, but we've had other ones sprout. Let's go ahead and get those up potted. We'll be ready to go into the cold frame. And I really do like this container. See the roots coming out? But it's got this rubber bottom, especially on these young ones. You just pop it right on out. They come out real easy. Now, since we got more than one in here, what we've done before, what I showed you how to do before, just kind of massage it. They come right apart, and you got two really nice plants. Use whatever kind of containers you've got. These cups work really well. Just make sure you got holes in the bottom for drainage. Before you got here, I went ahead and put some soil inside of these containers. If you preset your containers, it helps out quite a little bit when you come right down to planting. Just gonna make a little indentation right in the center of that. So here's a big cluster. There's a cluster of 4. And you just massage them. This is a nice little double, and that just came right apart. Set the one in. And if you can leave some soil on them, that's even better. They are pretty tough though. You gotta be gentle, but you're not gonna hurt them. Snug that in, add a little bit of extra soil because we don't want it to get leggy. And I'm not being very color coordinated with my containers. It doesn't really matter. For me, I don't really care. These are all going to go about the same place at the same time. And I know they're all brassicas. Let me go ahead and finish this up. And that's really all it takes to do this. A few brassicas for the cold frames. You can be creative with your trays. I just found this old lid. You want to make sure that they can draw water from the bottom, especially until it really cools off. And we're not supposed to have any more 100-degree days, but I wouldn't put it past them to get up into the 90s. You want to make sure these stay good and moist, at least in the beginning. Definitely want to make sure you get this first water on them, just in case there's any air pockets in around the roots. Yes, they need oxygen, but they don't need a big air pocket right around the root. I want to thank you for stopping by and helping me sow some September seeds. We'll be back in the garden tomorrow. Bring your work gloves, bring your seeds. We'll get a bulk of this planted. We'll still have time to get a decent little harvest. You can do this too. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.